I was just saying that Louis doesn't really understand social distancing. He tends to run up to people, eager to cuddle anything and everything, especially babies younger than him. Good job. Royal routines rarely allow for surprises, especially when every move is under constant watch. But during a recent appearance, something unexpected happened. All attention suddenly turned to Prince Louis. In just a few seconds, the tone of the entire event shifted. Even the king appeared, momentarily caught off guard. It wasn't dramatic, but the moment carried a significance far beyond Louis's age, and it left an impression no one could ignore. So, what exactly happened in that brief moment that has everyone talking? Join us as we explore how Prince Louis changed the course of a royal engagement with a single, powerful gesture. The weight of a royal title at just 7 years old, Prince Louis did something that surprised everyone. As he deliberately and respectfully bowed his head, all eyes were on him. What stood out wasn't just the gesture itself, but how naturally it came to him. Even King Charles paused. Known mostly for his cheeky charm and playful nature, Louis reminded the world that he carries a royal title steeped in tradition, family, legacy, and careful planning. Born on April 23, 2018, Louis was welcomed with a public announcement from the town crier outside the hospital. He was introduced to the world as His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Cambridge, title derived from his father's then title, the Duke of Cambridge. But Louis didn't receive this title by default. Under older royal rules, he wouldn't have been granted the title of prince at all. Those rules date back to 1917, when King George V issued letters patent limiting the use of royal titles. According to that decree, only the children and malign grandchildren of the monarch could be styled His or Her Royal Highness. That would have excluded great-grandchildren like Louis unless they were directly in line for the throne, however. In 2012, Queen Elizabeth II issued a new set of letters patent, declaring that all children of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, meaning all of Prince William's children, would be princes or princesses, regardless of their place in the line of succession. Without Queen Elizabeth II's 2012 decision, Prince Louis would have simply been known as Master Louis Cambridge, not a prince. But thanks to that legal update, he was granted his royal title from birth. Even his name was carefully chosen. His full name, Louis Arthur Charles, carries deep personal and historical meaning. Louis is believed to honor Lord Louis Mountbatten, the beloved uncle of Prince Philip. A key figure in royal history, Mountbatten was especially close to Prince Charles. Arthur appears in the middle names of both Prince William and King Charles. It's a traditional name with strong ties to British royal heritage. Charles is a clear tribute to his grandfather, the current king. Titles like Prince Louis shape much more than just how he's introduced. They influence his public rank, how he's treated during royal visits, in the press, and even within palace walls. His title also affects where he'll sit at official events, how he'll be addressed at school or abroad, and his role within the monarchy's working structure, whether the public realizes it or not. Title like prince brings with it a set of expectations from the very beginning. What title might Prince Louis hold in the future? As Prince Louis grows older, people often wonder what new title he might receive. One possibility is Duke of Edinburgh, a title originally bestowed on Prince Philip in 1947. After Philip's death in 2021, the title was passed to Prince Edward, King Charles's youngest brother, in 2023. However, Edward received it as a lifetime appointment, not a hereditary one. That means when Edward eventually passes, the title will revert to the crown and could be reassigned. Given the deep connection to Prince Philip and the symbolic weight of the title, Louis could be a fitting choice in the future. Another potential title is Duke of York, which has traditionally gone to the monarch's second son. However, it's currently held by Prince Andrew, and due to the controversy surrounding him, it's unclear if that title will ever be reissued. If neither of these is appropriate, Louis could be granted an entirely new dukedom chosen by the reigning monarch when the time comes, a life already shaped by legacy. What's clear is that Prince Louis's royal title is more than ceremonial. It marks the beginning of a life shaped by law, lineage, and strategic planning. When he bowed his head during that recent appearance, people weren't just seeing a charming young royal, they were witnessing someone already carrying the weight of history with more grace than anyone expected, the deeper meaning of the Duke of Edinburgh title. When King Charles granted the Duke of Edinburgh title to Prince Edward on March 10, 2023, Edward's 59th birthday, it was more than a symbolic gesture. It honored Prince Philip's legacy and fulfilled Queen Elizabeth's promise. Edward and his wife Sophie had already taken on many of Philip's public roles, making the appointment feel well-earned. But unlike past holders, Edward's son James will not inherit the title. Once Edward passes, the title will return to the crown. The history of the title stretches back to 1726, when King George I gave it to his grandson, Prince Frederick, to distinguish him from his many siblings. Since then, it has only been awarded a handful of times and always to someone the monarch believed could uphold both public duty and private honor. Prince Philip's enduring legacy of all who have held the title. It was Prince Philip who made it truly unforgettable. After marrying Princess Elizabeth in 1947, he was named Duke of Edinburgh and went on to give the title lasting meaning. Through the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme, Philip helped change the lives of thousands of young people in over 130 countries. Many participants later became leaders in business, government, and public service. Philip also championed causes like science, environmental conservation, and climate action, long before they became mainstream. His impact continues to shape how the title is perceived. And in the long game of royal planning, it's not unthinkable that this legacy may one day be passed to Prince Louis, a young royal already showing signs of the character and dignity that such a title demands, and that's where things get especially interesting for Prince Louis. He's only 7 years old, but his path is already being shaped by forces far beyond his age. Though he's not next in line to the throne, he will grow up entirely in the public eye, and with that comes expectations. His future will need to carry meaning, so a title like Duke of Edinburgh could one day provide that meaning, just as it did for Prince Philip and more recently, for Prince Edward. But this isn't just about heritage. It's about what the title demands. If Prince Louis were ever to receive it, it would be a clear public signal that he is stepping into a role much larger than himself. Would he be ready for that responsibility? Time will tell. Prince Louis. A unique place in the House of Windsor. Prince Louis may be young. He's part of something far greater than most people realize. His life is woven into centuries of royal tradition, global history, and the very modern evolution of what it means to be royal today. He was born into the House of Windsor, the royal family name officially established in 1917 by King George V. At the time, Britain was at war with Germany. The monarchy's original name, Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, sounded too German for comfort. So King George changed it to something more English, more relatable, Windsor. Since then, every monarch from George V to King Charles III has kept the name. It's become a symbol of continuity through war, loss, scandal, and social change. Louis's connection to the Windsor lineage runs through his father, Prince William, the firstborn son of King Charles III and Princess Diana. William represents both the future of the monarchy and its emotional heart. Through Diana, Prince Louis also inherits a link to the Spencer family, known for their independence and deep sense of justice. Diana was seen by many as the soul of the royal family, and that warmth is now visible in her sons and grandchildren, especially Louis. Then there's his mother, Catherine, Princess of Wales, formerly Kate Middleton. She came from an ordinary British background, with no titles or estates. Her family ran a small business and lived a life many could relate to. But what she brought to the royal family wasn't just normalcy, it was balance, calm, genuine, and affectionate. Catherine's influence can be clearly seen in all three of her children, especially Louis. The Wales children don't appear stiff or overly rehearsed during public events. They seem curious, safe, and above all loved. 3 siblings. 3 roles. Prince George, the eldest, is already growing into his role as future king. He's serious, focused, and observant. Princess Charlotte, in the middle, often acts like she's the one keeping everyone in line, confident, quick-thinking, and assertive. And then there's Louis, the wild card. He's the one who dances during ceremonies, makes faces during parades, and brings laughter at the most unexpected moments. But don't mistake his energy for naivety. Louis knows his place, and he knows he's valued not overshadowed by his brother, but growing beside him. With a unique role of his own, a title earned through change. Prince Louis's title wasn't automatic. When King George V issued his letters patent in 1917, it restricted royal titles to children and male-line grandchildren of the monarch. That rule later excluded some great-grandchildren, including Archie and Lilibet, children of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. This sparked public debate. Why did some royal children receive titles and others didn't? Is it about birth order, race, politics? These questions lingered for years. Eventually, Queen Elizabeth II issued a new letters patent in 2012, ensuring that all children of Prince William, then the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, would carry the title of Prince or Princess, regardless of succession order. That's why Louis, though born third, was granted the title Prince Louis of Cambridge at birth. A smaller monarchy, bigger question now. Under King Charles III, the vision for the monarchy is changing again. He's spoken openly about wanting a slimmed-down monarchy, a royal family with fewer public-facing members, more streamlined responsibilities, and a sharper focus on long-term sustainability. He's already reduced some official roles and delayed or withheld certain titles. That raises an important question. Will Prince Louis's children inherit titles at all? The answer will depend on how Charles and, eventually, William decide to shape the royal family in the coming decades. Louis, the breakout royal. At the Platinum Jubilee in 2022, Louis unexpectedly became the breakout star the Queen celebrated. Her final major milestone, it was Louis, covering his ears, wiggling in his seat, pretending to drum who stole the show. In a sea of uniforms and carefully curated tradition, his raw, joyful spontaneity stood out. Photos of him went viral. Social media lit up with memes, not mocking, but affectionate. For a brief moment, the monarchy felt relatable, like any other family trying to entertain a restless child during a long formal event. Catherine's parenting during that moment also drew praise. She didn't scold or panic. Instead, she leaned in, calmly talked to him, and showed warmth with just the right amount of discipline. It became a viral parenting moment in its own right. Growing into the role since then, Louis has continued to grow into his place in public life. At the Christmas walkabout at Sandringham, he was seen smiling politely, shaking hands, and showing a more composed side. At King Charles's coronation, he appeared serious, walking with focus and awareness of the occasion's weight. That doesn't mean he's lost his spark. He remains the most expressive of his siblings, but now there's a growing balance between playfulness and purpose. Those who've met him describe him as energetic, bright, and spirited. And while he may not yet know the full extent of the history he represents, the world is watching as he slowly, charmingly grows into it. There's something about the sparkle in Prince Louis's eye that longtime royal watchers say reminds them of a young Princess Diana, charming, spontaneous, and unpredictable in a way that draws people in. And it's having an effect. Louis is helping to modernize the royal family in a way no interview or official statement ever could. People who might normally overlook royal events now tune in just to see what he'll do next. He bridges the gap between centuries of tradition and today's craving for authenticity. In a family often known for its formality, Louis is unscripted, and that makes him stand out. But what happens when that free spirit has to grow into a life shaped by duty? Keep watching as we explore the growing expectations. Prince Louis may one day face the new era of royal parenting that's helping shape him. A new era of royal parenting when it comes to raising their children. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are writing a different kind of royal playbook, one grounded in emotional openness, consistency, and a commitment to giving their children as normal a childhood as possible. One of the most visible shifts is their approach to emotional well-being. Both William and Kate have been outspoken about the importance of mental health, that advocacy, isn't just public hits practiced at home. According to friends and insiders, the Wales household is one where emotions are acknowledged, not dismissed. If one of the children, especially someone as expressive as Louis, is upset or struggling, it's talked through, not brushed aside. This emotional accessibility stands in stark contrast to the stiff upper lip tradition that once defined royal parenting balance, warmth, and structure that said, the Wales household is far from a free-for-all. There's structure, routine, and clear boundaries. Bedtimes are respected, screen time is limited, and school responsibilities are taken seriously. Louis might be the most energetic of the three siblings, but even he follows the family's rhythm. Friends of the couple say there's a noticeable sense of balance in their home. Affection is freely given, but discipline is gently but firmly enforced. In public moments when Louis has pushed limits, we've seen Kate calmly and confidently guide him back on track, not with anger, but with reassurance and control. Their children are allowed to be children, but they're raised with consistency and respect. Life beyond palace walls, nature plays a central role in the Wales family's day-to-day life. The children are often spotted outdoors playing sports, helping in the garden, or exploring countryside trails. William and Kate believe outdoor time builds resilience, calm, and a sense of appreciation for simple things. It's an approach that reflects Kate's own upbringing and her deep interest in early childhood development. What's most striking is how involved William and Kate are in their children's everyday lives. Despite royal duties and global attention, they regularly do school drop-offs and pickups. At school events, they show up as parents, not in ceremonial dress, but blending in. Sitting with other moms and dads, teachers and other parents have noted how committed they are to giving George, Charlotte, and Louis space to experience childhood without being overwhelmed by royal protocol. Carefully curated public exposure. That philosophy extends to media exposure. Official photos of the children are released occasionally, many of them taken by Kate herself. Beyond that, the couple is fiercely protective of their children's privacy. Paparazzi photos are discouraged. Public appearances are selective and age-appropriate. It's a delicate balancing act, shared just enough to satisfy public interest, while shielding the children from the intense pressure that comes with royalty. How royal parenting, royal parenting hasn't always looked this way. If you trace the lineage, the shift is dramatic. Queen Victoria set the tone for emotional distance that echoed across generations. She was famously cold toward her 9 children, formal, stern, and detached. Records from the time describe her sons and daughters as obedient, presentable, and rarely seen. Heartfelt conversations or playtime were unheard of. To her, children were to be seen and not heard, and certainly not indulged. When King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, raised their daughters, they were warmer, but still traditional, so they were not deeply involved in the day-to-day lives of their children, and public displays of affection remained rare. Even Queen Elizabeth II, when she became a mother, largely followed that example. Her royal duties were immense, and she often traveled extensively, leaving her children, including Charles and Anne, for weeks or months at a time while she fulfilled obligations abroad. Prince William and Catherine have broken that cycle. Their approach is not just a personal choice. It's a strategic evolution of the monarchy itself. They understand that how their children are raised will shape not only their futures, but also the public's relationship with the royal family. Prince Louis may be the youngest, the most expressive, and the most unpredictable, but in him, many see the clearest glimpse of where the monarchy is headed. Human, modern, and grounded in love. How Prince Louis and a new parenting style are changing the future of the monarchy. For much of royal history, the crown came before the child. Emotional closeness wasn't expected often. It wasn't even considered appropriate. For King Charles III, that emotional distance left lasting scars. As a young boy, Charles was sent to Gordonstown, a boarding school known for its strict discipline and Spartan environment. He has spoken openly about how emotionally barren his childhood felt, surrounded by expectations, but rarely comfort. Royal life was rigid, expression was discouraged, and vulnerability had no place. Those early experiences shaped a man not for the better. Then came Diana. Princess Diana didn't just change public perceptions. She rewrote the very role of a royal mother. She hugged William and Harry in public, kissed them at events, and knelt to speak with them. ITI. She took them on tours, broke with protocol, made sure they saw the world beyond royal walls, through regular schools, fast food runs, and charity visits in underprivileged communities. Her warmth and protective nature offered a sharp contrast to the cold detachment of royal parenting past. She showed that love and duty could coexist, and the world noticed. Prince William did too. He saw firsthand the emotional limitations his father wrestled with, and he also saw how Diana tried to change that cycle. Today, as a father of 3, William carries both legacies, and he's clearly chosen to build a different kind of royal family. A new kind of royal father. Prince William blends the steady presence of a future king with the emotional openness his mother championed. He speaks about mental health, attends school events, and shows up in his children's lives with quiet consistency. Parenting, for him, is not a symbolic gesture, it's a daily choice. And alongside Catherine, Princess of Wales, he's redefining what it means to raise royals in the 21st century. The Wales family duty with a human face. If you line up images of royal families past with those of the Wales family today, the difference is stark. The contrast isn't just visual, it's philosophical. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis are growing up in an environment where structure meets affection. We've seen them squabble like siblings, laugh at public events, and wave confidently to crowds not as rehearsed performers, but as children who feel safe being themselves. This shift reflects a broader change. In this generation, relatability matters as much as royalty. In the past, children of the monarchy were raised primarily to serve, trained from birth to wear titles with poise. Their personalities often came second, but William and Kate have rewritten that narrative. Their children are still being prepared for responsibility, especially George, but they're also being allowed to grow into their own identities. They are learning where they fit in the world, but not being burdened by it too soon. The public response and the public is noticed once viewed as distant figures behind palace gates. The royals, particularly William and Kate, are now seen through a lens of humanity. Their warmth, openness, and visible affection for their children have redefined their public image, especially among younger generations. They haven't abandoned tradition, instead they've softened it. And in doing so, they've reshaped the monarchy's future, raising the next generation of royals. Prince George will one day wear the crown. But thanks to his parents, he's being raised not just to lead, but to listen, to be compassionate, to connect. Princess Charlotte, confident and self-assured, is finding her voice in the space between her brothers, neither overshadowed nor overlooked. And then there's Prince Louis, the playful one, the rule bender, the scene stealer with the infectious grin and cheeky expressions. But don't mistake that energy for immaturity. Louis is growing up under the same thoughtful parenting as his siblings, encouraged to be himself, but grounded in responsibility. Media, legacy, and the spotlight, of course. His family doesn't exist in a vacuum. LA. Every candid moment. Balcony wave. Every school runs. Photographed, analyzed, and shared across the world. William and Kate know the spotlight is constant. But instead of resisting it, they've learned to use it wisely. Their parenting is part of the public image, but it feels real. It's not rehearsed. And that's part of why people are watching this next chapter so closely. The future of the crown and the family behind it. As Prince Louis grows up, so does the story of a royal family that feels more human, more modern, and more connected than ever before. His playful spirit, the love he shares with his siblings, the balance of freedom and guidance in his upbringing, all of it speaks to a monarchy that's evolving. This isn't just about tradition anymore. It's about identity, connection, emotional intelligence, and love. And maybe, just maybe, that's what will keep the monarchy relevant in the years to come. What do you think this shift in royal parenting means for the future? Will George, Charlotte, and Louis grow up with a stronger sense of duty or a deeper sense of self? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, click the next video on your screen. There's more to explore.